Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, we have a huge mess of awesome punting gear to lead you into your punting week. I'm looking at a whole range of NFL stuff for tomorrow's Monday Night Football on Tuesday morning. Stats Guy, what are you looking at?
Yeah, minus to keep tearing it up in the cricket, and an EPL future with handy odds. Bit of Brentford, go the Bees.
Awesome. Alex, what about you?
Rowan Marshall, steam over the top of Jack Sinclair at St Kilda.
Sounds good. We are talking player props, game picks, best bets. There's a rate my same game multi as well. And I'll tell you what, a whole bunch more. It's all on Code Bet Daily. Check it out right now. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Monday, September 11. Happy birthday to my second born. Squid Dose, as he's known as. Not bad.
Oh, yeah, it is too.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, love nothing more than apocryphal birthday dates. Jeez, makes it easy to remember. I'll tell you that much. Either way, episode 192 here of Code Bet Daily. Jeez, that's a few, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. It's called Code Bet. You can find that at codebet.com.au, where we smashed 1 million picks over the weekend. No first goal kickers, but we smashed a bunch.
Everything else we're all right with.
I am joined, you just heard him then, by the punters. We've got the stats guy over there.
I'm still singing the big sound. I think Alex and I are new GWS supporters now that his team and my team are not in anymore.
I like that you started to say now that my team's been...
I was about to say my team's out, but they were well out.
You were out in like round 9.
Yeah.
Round 6, I was going to say. That's
round
right.
2, I thought we were making it when we were 2-0, but after that, just went downhill.
Yeah, I think you had the Flag Ruse T-shirts made up. We've also got Alex Donnelly over there as well.
Yep, have regained my voice. It was genuinely gone on Saturday night after singing Big Sound and Get Around Jake Riccardi a lot of times, much to the chagrin of the old St Kilda ladies that sat behind us.
Yeah.
But a good time was had by all, and I found out that I like gluten-free beer. So this is a lesson of discovery for me this weekend.
I, for one, discovered that Gil McLaughlin is really tall.
Yeah,
he's
he's
massive,
wildly tall, isn't he?
Yeah.
Surprisingly massive. All right, this is Code Gil Daily. This is what it says on the tin is what we do here. Codes, betting, and daily. Ironically enough, I think I'm just going to talk about one code, but we'll cover a bunch of other stuff. So we've got player props, game picks, best bets. I'll throw a same game rate my multi in at the end as well. Good times, great memories. It's Code Bet Daily. Let's get into it. I'm going to be looking at the NFL game for tomorrow morning. That's the Bills-Jets game, which is massive and awesome. And again, I'm going to yell about we don't really need divisional matchups in week 1. Stats guy, what are you going to talk about?
Bit of everything. So one-day cricket that the Aussies are in, some international soccer in the international break for the leagues, and then an EPL future as well.
Nice one there. See, we're talking different codes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about you, Alex?
I got a Brownlow team vote one that I'm going to talk about, as well as an early look at this weekend's finals, and then I'm just going to continue yelling about the same thing I've yelled about for the last month regarding Brisbane.
Oh.
Sure.
Nice.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. Code Bet's player props.
Player props.
Yeah, that's right. Code Bet player props for today, Monday, September 11. We have a massive opening game for Monday Night Football in the NFL. So we've had, the KC-Detroit game on Friday. We've had the whole slate roll off today. And the only remaining game is Aaron Rodgers' debut for the New York Jets, the Jetropolitans. Unbelievable gear. Green Bay Packer following in the footsteps and, ill-advised genitalia pictures from Green Bay Packer former QB MVPs. Brett Favre did that. And it's weird. It's hard to get a read on this game because you're sitting there going, it's Aaron Rodgers. We know that he's good. He wasn't that great last year. Was he hurt? Maybe. Either way, Garrett Wilson might be the best receiver that he's had since Devontae Adams was on the Packers a couple of years ago. And I was looking at this for some player props. I'm going to lean on Josh Allen for the Bills because I think a lot of their receivers are a little bit up and down. Makes them very difficult to see. Even like Stephon Diggs, the number one receiver. It's just like this sort of roller coaster of emotions. And the key thing is the Jets defense is really, really good. And you might remember last year, there was a horrible Jets-Bills game that was very low scoring and Josh Allen sucked in. But that's why you lean to his rushing markets. So first cab off the rank, Garrett Wilson for the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers would be just going, he's my best player. I'm going to throw the ball him heaps. That's it. Simple as that. I'm going to throw it to him heaps.
Fair enough.
Over 66.5 receiving yards and an anytime touchdown for Garrett Wilson, $3.17. I love it. Love it, because you might remember last year the Jets were horrible and Garrett Wilson was being, I don't know, having the ball thrown to him by Zach Wilson and just horrible dudes. And he was awesome anyway. And he still averaged basically bang on 65 yards a game. So he should go over that with Aaron Rodgers and the anytime touchdown. He had last year, I think in total, he only had the 4. And it's like, that's weird. It should be much more. In the 17 games that he played, he was wicked as a rookie. Obviously racked up all the yards, but now he's got a good actual QB. He should get one in this one. Josh Allen is the other one. 11 times, went over 36.5 rushing yards last year. That's a lot. And I think this Jets defense, that's the key aspect of this one, right? The Jets defense is really good. Josh Allen's going to go, well, screw it. I'm just going to do it myself. Nelson Muntz, anytime touchdowns as well for Josh Allen, $3.25. The over 36 is $1.88 for the rushing yards. He had 7 rushing touchdowns last year, but interestingly enough, scored a touchdown the first game of the season, 2 of the last 3 years.
Wow.
So it was like one of those, memories that you go, I feel like he's done that before. Interesting. So you combine that, his rushing and his touchdown, that's $3.70, $3.71, which I really like. And just the sneaky, weird little one, Damian Harris, over 5.5 receiving yards. It's basically, if Damian Harris gets a throw, he's going to win. That's $1.88.
5.5. Bloody hell.
He had 17 receptions all last season. It's one a game, basically. An average of 5.7 receiving yards a game.
That's a good find.
I feel like he's just a weird pace changer. Maybe he gets thrown up there. So, former Patriot back. He had an awesome year 2 years ago. And they sort of just phased him out last year as they got, they realized that Ramondre Stevenson was better. So there you go. Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, probably my easiest, most obvious player props for tomorrow's game. Alex, what about you?
Having a look at Brownlow team votes, and a team that, no one's going to really talk about as far as, Brownlow is concerned, and that's St Kilda. And I'm looking at Rowan Marshall to roll Jack Sinclair to be the most votes for St Kilda this season. Jack Sinclair's about $1.30. Rowan Marshall currently $4.50. Look, the way he finished off his season and really stormed into that All-Australian contention was great. Sort of took a while to get going, but if you go sort of from round 16 to the end of the season where St Kilda really stamped their finals credentials, even though they were in the 8 all year, he had a couple of games where there's probably going to be best on-ground votes, whereas throughout the year, Sinclair just accumulated 1s and 2s. There was never really a game when, hey, remember that day Jack Sinclair was awesome?
Yeah.
You don't think of that. Where he's like, remember that day Rowan Marshall just monstered everyone? Even on Saturday afternoon, we're like, Rowan Marshall's had 31 disposals.
I know,
what
that was crazy.
What is happening?
It was chaos.
Yeah. So in the last couple of games, in the last few rounds, there's every chance he could get 3 votes in 2 of the last 3 games, and then in the last round, he may get 1 vote for their performance. So look, he could get to sort of 15, 16 votes, and having a look through all the random predictors that we've been looking through and just tracking the form throughout the year, he's every chance of finishing off 1 or 2 votes ahead of Sinclair, especially with that late rally late in the season at $4.50. I'm all over that, and it is in my end of season Brownlow multi, which is exorbitantly long already.
Awesome. Wow. I like that a lot, actually, because that's the sort of bet when you're watching the Brownlow where you've got 5 other things you're tracking outside of the main stuff, and you're like, that one's a good one.
Yeah, that's really
good. I took one over the weekend that one of the bookies put up. Nick Dacos to lead at rounds 5, 10, and 15, and that was $4. It's now into $3. The only worry is if Tim Taranto's equal with him at round 15, because that's in that middle patch where Taranto went psycho. Yeah. So if he's outright leader in rounds 5, 10, and 15, $4. Thank you. But also it's $3 available now. You know where to find it. Go Google it.
Nice one. Stats guy.
Nice. Just starting off a player prop that I had at the start of the US Open. Coco Gauff. She's got the win at $9. Her first ever Grand Slam title. I was very happy with that one. I'll have to clip that up. I'll have to get onto Leo to clip that one up.
And Stats guy gets votes in Self-Trumpeter of the Week.
Oh, I got to talk about it. She was awesome. Yeah.
The US Open winner. That's awesome.
Absolutely. I actually was keen on Sabalenka and all the other tournaments, but glad she lost this one.
Fire the laser. Where's the wind cannon?
Come on, Gerald.
I'm sure there'll be something in the edits maybe. But I'm going to have a look at some cricket. The Aussies have been absolutely tearing up South Africa in this series. We won the T20 series 3-0 and we lead the ODI series 2-0. They're not too great. You got Marnus, who's been amazing in the one days, 80 and 124. He didn't actually get picked in the ODI World Cup squad, and I think coming into this, he's like, stuff this, I'm going to prove all you guys wrong. I'm still one of the best players in the world. I know he hasn't been great at World Cups, But a guy of his caliber, I think you still got to pick him. So I think he's been a bit stiff there, but he's in absolutely awesome form and he's really confident at the moment. He averages 88 across 5 one-dayers against South Africa, and they've all been over there. He likes the conditions over there. He was born there, so I don't know if there's something to do with that. He just likes the conditions over there. So just him to get over, his over-under is 33.5, which I'm really happy to take on, considering he's got 80 and 124. That's $1.83. I wanted to bet on the 100 plus, but they don't have a market for that at the moment. So if you see that, I'm honestly tempted to get on that. He's hitting everything for at the moment. So 50 plus is $2.40. I thought that was really good as well. It sounds pretty low, but the form he's in, I can't see him getting lower than 50 in the next ODI.
I believe the phrase is "seen it like a beach ball."
Seen it like a beach ball. That's yes, exactly right. Yeah.
Very nice. I also like that you're like, well, he was born there, so he probably likes the conditions.
Yeah.
Like, I was born in Ballarat, buddy. Like,
you don't like the conditions there?
It doesn't mean I like the cold and the dreariness, the greyness.
True. Well, maybe
You don't hear people who are born in Goulburn say, "I really want to go back and live in Goulburn when I'm older."
That's true. That's true.
Good one. I like that. Love me some Marnus. You know
Big
that.
man.
All right, let's do some game picks.
What's your best match or game pick?
Well, I mentioned this before. The Bills and Jets tomorrow. So the under is 45.5. As soon as I saw that, I was like, click, under, click. Can I click it again? We're doing clicks. We're all clicking on under. Last year, the Jetropolitans lost 20-12 in the second game. The first game was 20-17 that the Jets actually won at home. I'm going to still lean with the Bills in this game. So I'm going to go the double. You can just take the Bills winner and under 45.5. That's 345. Bills minus 2.5 where they win by a field goal, and the under 45.5 is 390, which I kind of like. I think earlier in the week I was probably leaning towards the Jets a bit more just because their defense is really good. So trying to thread that needle, though, for me, it's just a bit squirrely. I might just take the Bills, but if you actually do feel like this is even closer than that sort of 2.5, I'm not going to argue with Jets plus 2.5 in the under. But clearly, we're going the under. Jets, the defense is really good. The Bills' defense should be awesome. The Bills' offense last year was like the second-ranked offense in the league, but every time they play the Jets, they just can't score. It's weird. It's bizarre. That's why with the player props and stuff like that, you're just not going too crazy with like James Cook or with Stephon Diggs or even Gabe Davis. And to be honest, like that's the sort of dudes where you go, oh, if they do pull a TD out of nowhere, it'd be like to the second receiver like Gabe Davis. But still going under, and I think I'd probably just end up with the Bills winner because I have sort of vacillated between, I think in my article I was picking the Jets plus 2.5, so I might.
Just in case,
Bills probably win, but I think the Jets are just right there at the end anyway, and they may be just trying to fight their way through, and maybe they need like a 2-point conversion at the end to tie it up, and they miss, and away we go. So I'll take the Bills winner and under 45.5. Alex.
Having a look at the finals, so just an early look this weekend before we really dig deep into it. So just vibes really so far. Going to really either make or break Jim's week by saying Carlton will beat Melbourne on Friday night at the MCG. I think the loss of Brayshaw and Van Rooyen's really going to hurt Melbourne. For Carlton, Harry Mackay missing is not really the worst thing because, well, we all saw what happened on Friday night.
He would say it's a net positive.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's addition by subtraction. Have a look at GWS. And I just think that now that they've won that final and they tried every which way possible to lose that final, it's like the shackles are off. All right, we've got to the second week of finals. We've won a final and they could just hit the ground running. And Melbourne looked dangerously cooked and could go out straight sets second year in a row. Ooh. We all saw GWS up close on a Saturday afternoon. I think they can go to Adelaide and knock off Port. That was seriously impressive the way they just ran through the midfield and absolutely blitzed St Kilda. Port got blown off the park, but the problem is they've got some injury concerns out of that defensively. Trent McKenzie is injured and is probably not going to play. And his likely replacement, Tom Jonas, well, he tore his calf last week at training, so that's not ideal. They also did that in a game where I know Toby Green had 19 touches, but he really wasn't supremely influential. Look for him to explode in a big final.
Just to slow you down there because you're just going, they're going to win. All right, give us some odds. So $2.25.
I was going to do a rate my multi at the end of this with all four put together.
Okay. To look at it very quickly because I think it'll be interesting to look at this closer to obviously
might change. Right?
So Carlton is starting at the moment $2.25 outsiders, $1.68 for Melbourne. So they're pretty. What's that? 6.5-point line favourite.
Yeah.
The over under is 155.5, and then Port have won roughly similar, right? $1.60, $1.59. GWS $2.45. So I think you're on here with a couple of big underdogs, and
Yeah,
the
even
line
at the
is
line.
a little bit further out too at 10.5. So
Yeah.
Oh.
the over-under is much bigger too, 173.5. I guess that's just the idea where we're playing at Adelaide Oval, Port smash it like that. So, but yeah, very interesting to see where the market sits right out of the gate.
And then across to the NRL, I'm going to tip the upset with the Roosters to get it done against the Melbourne Storm. That line's about 10 points for the Roosters at the moment. The Storm, Pappenhausen, that poor bugger, injured once again. He had surgery on Saturday, but the way they just got blown off the park, the Roosters, as I said, they're finding ways to win. They found a way to win on Saturday night on the road. No surprise if they do it again. They're $3.35 at the moment. And then across to Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock this game, the New Zealand Warriors take them at $1.55 to beat Newcastle. Just at home, I feel like New Zealand have a much bigger advantage. The line is just bang on a try. It's 5.5 points there. And look, Newcastle scrapped and clawed to get the job done yesterday over Canberra.
Oh, that was crazy.
Abysmal in the first half and found a way to get over the line. So take the Warriors. Yeah, they got smashed by Penrith, but the double chance and back at home. Happy to back the Warriors. Those four thrown together in a head-to-head multi is $26.84, given I am taking 3 of the outsiders.
Ooh.
That is a lot of underdogs, which I like, especially like the Carlton one. Look, I'm still not convinced on GWS. I think you guys are a lot more convinced than I am.
I'm more worried that Port got just blown out of the water so badly, and they're going to have no defenders. And we saw how Riccardi and Hogan went on the weekend against an All-Australian fullback, and the fact that Toby really didn't get into the game, and Stephen Cornelio's got to come back into that team.
Yeah, Port at home though. Brisbane at home they can smash anyone. So I'm still going Port in that one. And then although I bagged the Storm, I'm worried about Storm Roosters. That'll be a tough one.
Stats guy sitting there going, "I called Storm sucking all year."
Yeah.
All right, Stats guy, what's your game pick?
Bit of international soccer, the Euro qualifiers. Everyone's favourite team, Armenia, taking on Croatia. Croatia.
Let's go.
And we just got cancelled.
What? No.
Keep on the table. Let's move it down. Armenians, proud Armenians.
Yeah. It's all good. Croatia, they're still an absolute powerhouse of the men's soccer, making the final of the Nations League a few months ago. And they've only lost one of their last 18 games. They've been absolutely awesome. They just beat Latvia, or Latvia, as James would call them, 5-0 over the weekend. They had 4 different goal scorers showing their attacking depth. And they've still got one of the great midfielders, Luka Modric. He's 38. He's still absolutely tearing it up for Real Madrid and Croatia, controlling the midfield. Every time they go through him in attack, they look absolutely awesome. And Armenia, they're on the other side of that. They've lost 6 of their last 8 matches. Don't have the class or finishing ability to keep up with Croatia here. I think they could sneak a goal because Croatia play really attacking. But Croatia are easily going to get a win here. 5 of the last 7 Croatia games have gone over that 2.5 goal market. And with overlapping waves in attack, I think they're going to score a few goals here. So Croatia and over 2.5 goals is $2.05. I think Armenia in these Euro qualifiers are actually on the same point. So this is a really big game. But just the form of Croatia, they've just got a much better list. So I'm going to go them and the over 2.5 goals.
Nice one. Meanwhile, Danny Dimes has already gone past his rushing total that I've got him in my bets. So,
nice.
The game is 5 minutes old. So, thank you, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. He's got 25 already, I think, and 27 already, and I think I had him at 25. So fantastic. Righto, let's do some best bets.
It's best bets. It's best bets. It's time for all the best bets.
It really is all of the best bets. One of the great moments for this start of the NFL season is quarterback head-to-heads. How good is this? I absolutely love this one because it's like, who's going to throw more touchdown passes, bro? Josh Allen or Aaron Rodgers, man? And you're like, that's a great question because I don't know. That's why there's odds about it. But Aaron Rodgers is $3. I'm going Aaron Rodgers because Josh Allen in 2 games against the Jets and that defense last year threw exactly 1 passing touchdown. So, respect for Rodgers. Rodgers in his debut, I think he'll be slinging that pigskin. I think they'll lean on Delvin Cook. They're going to be like Breece Hall, their awesome running back for the Jets. He'll be eased back in over the first half of the season, I reckon. They'll lean on Delvin Cook really early in the season. I think he'll go pretty big tomorrow. But I still think you'll see Aaron Rodgers go, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to pass this for a touchdown. And I reckon he gets to 2. And I think Josh Allen, look, I think the Jets defense, the defense, as we've said, I think Allen can run one in. I don't know if he's going to be throwing too many touchdown passes, and I say this now, and he'll probably throw for 4. But Rodgers being at $3 just to top Allen's total is really good value, so I'm going to go that. Quick rate my multi.
Rate my multi.
And hilariously, I believe the Dallas defense just scored a touchdown against the
Oh,
Giants.
really?
I don't know what's happened there, but it's hilarious. All right, rate my multi. Josh Allen, over 36.5 rushing yards. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. Delvin Cook, I just mentioned this one, 50-plus rushing yards, just to be on the safe side. 50-plus. I think his line is over 60-something. Aaron Rodgers, 200-plus passing yards. Garrett Wilson, over 66.5 receiving yards. And a Garrett Wilson touchdown will get you to $33.88. Gentlemen, rate my same game multi.
I'm no NRL expert, but I'll give it a
Well, it's
solid.
NFL, so that's a good start.
Oh, they said NRL. That's I don't even know what the sport's called. No, I'll give it a 8.5, 9. I really like that. Maybe even a 10. Sounds good. I'll have to get 7.
Nice.
It's week 1, so I just
Fair enough.
just playing a straight bat.
Nice one. I really actually do like it a lot. Probably more than I should. My rate my multi from Friday, or at least one of my best bets actually also hit. So Jacksonville minus 5.5 over the Colts and over 46.5 points, which was $3.60 winner. I'm not here to sit, and trumpet all my wins, but
wait, you're allowed to. We're a bets tipping show. You're allowed to do that.
That's literally. I mean, the argument is like, James, you got to get some right sometimes, right, and then you can trumpet them. But that one was a really good one, and I realized I had that at the end of the show last week. So
awesome
good stuff, Alex. Best bet.
Brisbane make the AFL Grand Final at $1.60. Like, why is this not $1.30? Seriously, they are going to win again and play in the Grand Final. I've been yelling about it for the last month. They were awesome on Saturday night. Joey D kicking 5 goals in a final. That'll shut up with that. He doesn't do it in finals, boys. Oh, he kicked 5, so shut up. They also did it in a game where Lachie Neale was really bad. Only 19 disposals, ruining everyone's multis over the weekend. Imagine if he plays well once again. I think they'll just beat Melbourne or Carlton, whoever comes up there and plays. And then let's have a look at the AFL NRL Grand Final winning double. Penrith Panthers will win the NRL. They will absolutely smack the Broncos if they meet in the Grand Final, or whoever they meet, that is. And the Brisbane Lions will finally win one game at the MCG, and it's the only game that matters, that being the Grand Final. $6.72 the double.
Interesting. I'm actually more interested in the Brisbane double now.
I might, double Brisbane. That's what I might
The last thing I want in my life is the Broncos winning a bloody premiership.
That's a good one. Flag double.
That's pretty good value, though, because, Penrith.
Well, Brisbane are $3. Oh, the Lions are $3.50. Like, after watching both teams, like all the games over the weekend, you're like, why aren't Brisbane the favourites to win the Grand Final?
Yeah.
Given the fact of all the teams that are most likely to play in the Grand Final, you'd say it's Brisbane.
Yeah, it's just the MCG people are still worried about.
No, but they should be favourite because they're more than likely going to play in a Grand Final than Collingwood.
Yeah, I agree
given,
the
home ground advantage. And let's be honest, Collingwood looked horrendous for periods of Thursday.
Yeah,
so. Nice
one. I feel like Alex just put his hand up and we'll write a flag double piece for the side at some point.
Oh,
I actually really like that. It's a great concept. Who's going to win the AFL?
It is a good concept, actually, yeah.
Why will they win? Because they're better.
Nice. All right, Stats Guy, what's your best bet?
A bit of an EPL future that Alex and I both touched on in our preseason one. It's still about the same odds.
You've absolutely stolen my material again.
I think I've said it before as well in one of our shows, but I'm just surprised it's still at these odds. So Brentford, top half finish at $2.75. I actually reckon Alex talked about it a few weeks ago, and it was $2.75. Hasn't dropped, so get on it before it does. They finished in the top half last season in 9th and have been decent so far this season with 3 draws and 1 win, so no losses. Pretty good start there. I was worried about them at the start of the season without their leading goal scorer, Ivan Toney, obviously friend of the show. This loves a bit of a bet. And it's suspended until the second half of the season. But Brian Mbuemo has absolutely stepped up. He's got 4 goals in 4 games. He's an awesome penalty taker, and they've been the 4th best offense so far because of him, averaging 2 goals a game. And they've been really strong at home. They've been undefeated in their last 7 home games under Thomas Frank, who Alex absolutely loves. I think he's his favourite manager other than Arteta. Yeah. They've been really good and really hard to beat at home. They can beat and draw against some of the top teams. They even beat Man City towards the end of last season.
They beat them on the last day when Man City was still drunk.
they're probably still drunk, but still they have the confidence to beat those bigger teams. I think top half, you got West Ham who've surprised everyone a little bit. I think Notts are still in the top half just to start the season. I think they'll drop off. Crystal Palace, I think, will drop off. Brentford will stay in that top half. I think it might be 8th to 10th, but they're still in the top half. So $2.75, I'm going to take that on.
That's a great call. I like that one, Stats Guy. Very nice. Also, Ivan Toney is probably, definitely Co-Bet's favourite Ivan.
Yes.
I remember I did go to high school with an Ivan. He sucked. So this is much more on board with Ivan.
I didn't really like Ivan Drago, so yeah.
Yeah, true.
He killed Club and Lang. Righto, let's do it. We're done. We're finished.
We'll be back. We're done.
Go-Bet Daily is done for today. We'll be back on deck tomorrow, though. Get right around the show and all of our subsequent shows. We have EPL, NRL, AFL shows coming up this week. We'll have an NBA Australia out later today as well. We'll have NFL Australia coming up tomorrow to wrap up week 1. And, of course, hold all tickets for punters.com.au, which will be an absolute cracker. How were the horses on the weekend, Alex?
Our best bets didn't get up, but our lays of the day were all beaten, and I think Lammy's next best absolutely trotted in. So, and a couple of the horses in the top 5 lay or backs that we went against all got beaten. So it was a mixed weekend, but you'd probably eked out a positive.
Nice. Good stuff. Like, review, and star all of those, would you? Chuck us a follow across all the socials as well. I believe that is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Threads. See, nailed that one that time. Send in any questions via the socials, of course. We'll rate your multi. Go through some NFL multis. If you want to send any through, we'll check them out and have a look. But either way, thank you, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Thought he froze there for a second. It was pretty good.
I was like, I said it straight away. I didn't know what happened there.
It was also good to see him not get kicked out of the MCG and in the fancy bit on Saturday afternoon.
I tell you, the funniest thing was Stats Guy literally eating his first hors d'oeuvre of the day and spilling it down his shirt.
No, I didn't spill it down my shirt, just on the floor. Someone on the ground.
It was literally as soon as we walked in.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, cheers.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Alex. Thank you, Gerald. And thanks to me. That's it. What do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly. Or Jim's cutting out.
There you go. May all your picks come in. Happy punting. Go-Bet Daily. We're cutting out.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.